Good morning, Subhusda.
Good morning. Please, guys, once again share in the group that you have joined. Okay, Anushka, I think I should start. Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the uh, brainstorming station. And start the Startup Club by 𝐓𝐴𝐊𝐈𝐴, the innovation and playground for your ideas. And we are again live on our session, which is Sunday's brainstorming session, but today is not Sunday. And I would like to ask Devoshi for introduction to the topic. Devoshi. Devoshi.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, it's audible.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Sobuch, for calling me for the introduction of the topic. So today's topic is how other sports leagues can introduce a model like IPL so that they can also be profitable. As we can see that IPL is the fourth most profitable sports league in the whole world right now. Its valuation is nearly approximately to 6.7 billion US dollars. So the thing is, IPL is a mammoth in the valuation. So, but other sports leagues which are running in India are not that famous, are not that rich, are not that contributing to the GDP right now. But IPL is playing a huge role. Why BCCI is the richest cricketing body in the whole world? What's the catch? The catch is IPL. IPL is making so much money that it can nearly uh, pay taxes of a whole uh, state for that matter. So the thing is, IPL is playing a huge role in revolutionizing the cricketing industry in the whole world as well as in India also. It is bringing a new talents, but looking into the financial point of view, IPL is also contributing a hugely in this country economically. So why other sports leagues like ISL or Pro Kabaddi League or any other leagues are failing, are not up to that mark? Because you can see cricket is being played by 12 to 14 nations, but football is played by more than 200 nations. But still India is lacking in football rankings in India. ISL was started to boost the grassroots level of footballing in India, but still it failed. So why it failed and how can we revamp that system? How can we take inspiration from the IPL and can do things with other sports leagues in India also? So thank you so much. So I'll hand it over to Shobuj, and you guys can share your ideas and come with a conclusion at last.
Okay, thank you, Devoshi, for your introduction. And now I'd like to ask the participants. First participant is Shayan Ghosh. Shayan Ghosh. Shayan Ghosh. Are you there? Shayan Ghosh. I think he is not in the meeting. Okay. Next participant is 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐔𝐩.
Good morning, everyone present here. So the topic today is that how can the other teams that you have, like in football, the ISL or the badminton league that we have in India, how can they become better leagues so that they can generate as much as money that IPL does? So to understand that, first of all, we need to understand how IPL functions. So IPL functions in a complicated business model where it gets money from the broadcasters. It gives the media right to these broadcasters. For example, in 2017, IPL sold the media right to to set 10 and to Star India for a record 16,337 crores for the next 5 years. This is equal to 60 crores for each match of IPL for the next 5 years. IPL, the BCCI board is giving 60 is getting 60 crores per match from this Star 10 corporation for broadcasting their program. Furthermore, by giving media rights, the IPL also generates money by having sponsors. For example, the Dream 11 sponsor, which is the current sponsor of IPL in 2021, has given 57.7 million US dollars. This is not in rupees, this is in million US dollars in just a single year. So you have franchises which are like KKR, Sunrisers Hyderabad, Gujarat Titans, etc. And then you have the sponsors which are actually wanting to brand their own companies in the IPL game to actually get more famous. And then there are these media channels which wants to broadcast this event so that they can earn some profit from it. And at the last, we have the Indian players and the cricket, which is already famous in India, which is already a famous sport. And that is the major reason why IPL is that famous. You don't see this interest in badminton or tennis because, of course, we don't have that much interest as Indians in the sport of tennis or badminton. We have that for IPL because it is majorly concerning cricket. We have players from all over the world. We have players in India. We have like four foreign players in each game. So we have the franchises, for example, the CVC Capital Partners, which is a British equity estate company that brought the Gujarat Titans for 736 million US dollars. You have these franchises bringing in money to buy new teams. Now the teams can actually have shares between different companies. For example, KKR has a share between Shah Rukh Khan and Sanjeev Goenka. So you don't have just one company holding a team. You have multiple persons, and then the profit from that team, which maybe can become the champion or maybe cannot become the champion, goes to BCCI, which in turn gives the money which it gets to the media corporators, to all the sponsors, to all the franchises. But at last, 40% of that money of the profit is with the BCCI. Among that 40%, each pays the taxes, and the other left goes into its own pocket. This is a major reason why IPL is the second largest profitable making league in the entire world. And but that was not the session about. The session was about how can other leagues become the way IPL is. And it is a bit difficult because the other leagues are about badminton and tennis, which are not that famous in India. So in order to make them famous, you need to have a good broadcasting system. For example, ISL, the Indian Super League, which is regarding soccer, was having huge interest in the first year because of the broadcasting system it had from Tata. But later on, it was given to Reliance, and Reliance paid the broadcasting rights. But later on, no company came forward in to give and sponsor the whole league. So ISL, which is actually a top league in India for soccer, came down steep low. So first of all, in order to revive the whole league, you need to have a good broadcasting system so that the league is famous all over India by people watching it on TV. So you need that first, and then you need sponsors to come in and buy some new teams. For example, ISL probably has like 20 teams. Now IPL has like 7 teams plus 3, which is now 10. But ISL has like 20 teams, so people don't show interest to all of these teams because there are useless matches going on, and the audience in the stadium are pretty far low. So the major reason lacking behind in soccer and tennis or in badminton is the number of people interested towards these events. That is a major reason. And for this exact thing, the sponsors are coming low. The sponsors are not coming to broadcast the event, and then the franchises are not even coming forward. So I think the first way to make these other leagues revive to back its spirit is to have them good broadcasting rights, is to like pour in some money so that they get famous. That is the only way I see forward. Any questions?
Yes. Okay, you have researched quite a lot about IPL.
Yeah, I
Okay,
just woke up. I didn't research anything.
okay. Now it's time for the rebuttal round. Anyone having any questions, please unmute yourself or write it down in the comments.
Hello, Krishna. I have one thing to ask you. The thing is, how can I make a good broadcasting system as per your idea?
Well, I didn't talk about that. You making a broadcasting system. I'm saying that for in order to get the league famous, you need to have a company coming forward and asking or asking the parent company to give them the media right. For example, ISL, the soccer league, is broadcasted in Star India, but Star India didn't pay that huge amount of money for getting the media rights of ISL. It paid 16,337 crores for 5 years for IPL, equating to 60 crores per match. But for ISL, the amount must be far, far below. Why is that? Because people are not interested. And as people are not interested, the media rights of the company are getting low, and less companies are interested in actually broadcasting the entire event. And then it comes the franchises and the sponsors. So the major thing is that the audience is far below, and for that, everything in the loop is getting low. The sponsors, the franchises, the broadcasting company. So the only way to forward is to have and to broadcast that league so much that people get interested into it. And then we can look forward to how we can improve the whole thing.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, you have explained quite good. Okay, any more questions?
Yes, Krishna, one thing that is, you have made a very valid point by saying that broadcasting rights, it actually requires quite a lot of promotion. But tell me one thing, that is one part of the story. But the other part of the story, be it Pro Kabaddi or be it, the Badminton League, be it ISL, firstly, how are you planning to bring in audience? Like, why is there so less people who are interested about it? So how are you planning to bring in audience for that to actually make those leagues popular?
Exactly. So you need to have a good audience first, and then only you can look up to all these broadcasting sponsors, etc. So in order to have a good audience, I think the parent company. So for cricket we have the BCCI. For like the football, we can have the Football Association of India or whatever, I don't know. So the parent company must pour in a huge sum of money to all these broadcasting companies so that the league can be made popularized to in all these television screens, and so that people come to watch. And this was the exact reason ISL was very, very famous in only the first 2 years. If you remember, the audience in the stadium were huge. They were running their The tickets were getting out of stock. This was the reason because the broadcasting companies like Reliance broadcasted the ISL, Indian Super League, so much that people were interested into watching it. But later on, they saw a decrease in their profit and they reduced the broadcasting abilities of ISL. And thus, people are not interested anymore. Now the whole stadium is lonely. No one is watching it. And the similar goes for Pro Kabaddi, which had a good broadcasting system, but later on it also went step low. So you need the parent company to pour in a huge sum of money into broadcasting the league so that it can get famous, and from there you can get a huge number of audience, and then you need the media rights of a company, and the company would pay a huge sum of money to broadcast that event, and then franchises and sponsors would pour in generally, and it can go flowing.
Okay, okay. Your times is already over. Okay,
Yeah,
I
thank you.
I have to move on to the next participants as we have limited time. Okay, our next participant is Suvra Narayan Bhaduri.
I'm Shubhran Bhandari.
Okay, Shubhan Bhaduri. Okay,
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Shubhran Bhandari from second year mechanical department. Time is limited, so I'm coming to the point. As we all know, IPL is the most loved sport in India. When hockey is our national game, we also have many more sports as Kabaddi, football, badminton, etc. But no other sports league is close to IPL because IPL is different business model. If other sports league think to change their business model, then they need some strategy like auction of the player, auction of the broadcasting rights, title sponsorship, and corporate sponsorship, etc. Here, the most important thing is huge money has to invest by the respective boards. Then the board can share a broadcasting uh, money with franchisees, share the sponsorship money, ticket money, etc. And once they invest a good amount of money among the players, then I'm sure that any other sports league will be as loved as IPL. Thank you.
Okay, you are like focusing on the sponsorship, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions for Shubhran?
Yes, I have one question. This is Rahul.
Yes.
So
Tell.
my question is, you just told that companies need to invest a lot when a tournament is started. So IPL was started in 2008, and at that time DLF was the sponsor of the tournament, and DLF invested a mere 40 crore rupees uh, in the whole tournament. So how 40 crore rupees helped in becoming a unicorn in sports industry, IPL?
Actually, your voice is not clear. Please, can you repeat it?
How investment of money helps in becoming an unicorn? Simple, because DLF invested only 40 crore rupees in 2008 at the start of IPL.
Actually, here's the problem is ISL when it started in the first year it was going rightly, but uh, the previous person who spoke it, I am trying to say it was my point actually. So that's the thing.
Well, I didn't understood, but okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm saying that in our brainstorming session, language is never been a problem or barrier for us. You can speak in Bengali, Hindi, and English as well for your communication. So feel free to use your preferred language for the question answering session and as well as your idea presentation. Okay. Now we are moving on. The next participants is Aniket Roy.
Hello, good morning to everyone present over here.
Good morning, Aniket.
So today's topic is about IPL. How can we make other leagues of India as close to IPL? So what we know that IPL is BCCI investing more upon the uncapped players in IPL. So the uncapped players is playing more interesting playing, and other players are like in ISL that are not get so much funding about that, so they cannot properly train themselves, so and people's also losing interest in that games. The main point of view is that we need to show interest how the IPL changes in growing sessions, means year by year. যখন মানে ইন্ডিয়াতে যখন ইন্ডিয়া যখন ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ জিতে 1983 সালে, তখন থেকে ইন্ডিয়ার ক্রিকেটের প্রতি একটা আলাদাই টান আছে। তো এরকম যদি আমরা ফুটবলে দেখতে পাই যে এরকম একটা যদি কোনো আমাদের যদি টিম যদি ফিফা ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপে যদি কোয়ালিফাই করে ইন্ডিয়া, তখন একটা আলাদা ইন্টারেস্ট আসবে পিপলদের মধ্যে, যে আরো তখন আইএসএল লিগ এরকম প্রো কাবাডি লিগে আমরা জিতেছিলাম 2016 সালে, ইন্ডিয়া জিতেছিল। সেই টাইমে কাবাডি তখন অনেক পপুলার ছিল, কিন্তু আস্তে আস্তে এই কোভিডের জন্য কাবাডিটা 2 বছর স্টপ থাকে, তাই জন্য আস্তে আস্তে একটু কাবাডিরও টাইম লাগবে, বাট স্পন্সরশিপটা একটু আরো ভালো দরকার ছিল। মানে রিলায়েন্স আর টাটা ছাড়া আরো অনেক কোম্পানি যদি সাপোর্ট করে, আর প্লেয়ারের ফান্ডিং যদি ভালো হয়, মানে মেনলি আনক্যাপ প্লেয়ার্সের যদি ফান্ডিং ভালো হয়, আর তারা যদি নিজের ট্রেনিং খুব ট্রেনিংটা প্রপারলি করতে পারে আর ফিটনেসের উপর কাজ করতে পারে, তাহলে আরো ভালো হবে। আর ইন্টারেস্ট বলতে মানে ব্রডকাস্ট, যে কিশোর দা বললো যেটা, যে ব্রডকাস্টিং এর ব্যাপারটা একটু মানে আমরা কি করে আইপিএলটা আর আইএসএলটাই দেখতে পাই স্টার স্পোর্টসে, অন্য কোনো চ্যানেলে হয়ে যদি যে টাইমে আইপিএল চলে অন্য কোনো স্পোর্টস আমরা দেখতে পাই না। সো দ্যাটস আ পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ ফ্রম মাই সাইড। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ।
Okay, like you are pointing that in the past years, like cricket is also not famous in our country, right? After
হ্যাঁ,
Kapil Dev owns the World Cup, then it comes to the scenario.
ইয়েস ইয়েস
So, like there is a part of people also that people are liking that sports, and that's why IPL is so famous.
ইয়েস ইয়েস।
Okay, any more questions for Ankit? Aniket, sorry.
So I have a question for you, Aniket. So your basic reviving strategy is to make the ISL famous. You need to have the Indian team at playing at the FIFA World Cup. So that is the only way out.
That's the only way. About others is you have to train the uncapped players, and they had to. And in ISL, there is mainly basically the outside players, but in India, IPL, you focus on Indian players, and there are only 4 overseas players in each team. So that's a point of view. In ISL, there are more foreign players than Indian players. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Krishna.
thank you.
Okay.
But I would like to point that even we didn't get into the FIFA, but still Mohun Bagan and
Yes, yes, yes.
East Bengal,
That's
it's very famous. Like
ha ha
craze
ha
is
ha.
like you can feel
Yes,
it.
that's in West Bengal only. Mohun Bagan and East Bengal.
Okay, we are out of time right
Okay,
now.
okay. Thank
We
you.
will come back to later. Okay, I would like to ask our next participants, Subhojit Mujumdar. Subhojit, are you there? Okay, we are moving on to our next participants. Is Rohit Chatterjee. Okay, I think he is not in the meeting right now. Okay, Avijanan Roy. Yes, you can start.
Hello,
Hello.
am I audible?
Yes, but your voice is breaking.
Okay, so can you hear it now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, So let me first tell you a few interesting facts that in last 1 month, India has done quite good in. Sorry. Okay, so in last, India has done quite good in the field of swimming and running, but I don't think many of us know about this, and no newspaper, and to be specific, national level newspaper have made reportings out about this. So let me just share a few other things about it. Just a second. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. As I have already told, that India has performed quite well in the field of running and swimming, but no publicity is done for them, and we are only focusing on the cricketers because in popular culture the cricketers are shown as our role model and they are shown as the national hero as they have won this match and that match. But recently, six teens probably from Andhra Pradesh have crossed the Park Strait. If you know, I don't think many of us have ever heard about it, but six teens have crossed the Park Strait and no major publicity has been done for them. So the main thing is that the companies and the brands they manipulate us to believe that cricket is the best sport, and they do is to obviously enhance their business. So that's the main factor. If we can manipulate people in thinking that India has other sports also and we are also doing great in this field, then we will surely be able to make people interested in these fields also. But most of the films they show either cricket or some other sports, uh, but they don't really focus on these fields like running, swimming, badminton, and all these things. And as a result, I don't think there is any advertisement going on featuring PV Sindhu, who has secured a medal in Olympics, or Mida Chanu and other players. Like we have quite a few wrestlers in India who have secured some medals, but no publicity is made for them. So that's the whole point. The companies are manipulating us, believing that cricket is the best and to drive us for their company and their sponsorship.
Okay. Your point is like how the companies are presenting the sport to the people, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. We are open for the rebuttal round. Anyone having any questions?
I have one question. I'm sorry for the background music, but my question is, the respected participant just mentioned about the movies, that none of the movies are made on other sports. But what about Bhag Milkha Bhag? What about Pan Singh Tomar? There is movie on the Fogart sisters, movie on Mary Com. Still, there are numerous movies which are
There
made on.
is also on cricket that Iqbal movie. It is also a very famous movie.
Sorry, yes, okay. So my question is simply one. My question is that why these already movies are made, but still why these things are not so much exposed to the Indian people? So what do you think? What to
People
do?
used to people used to watch these movies once or maybe twice in their life, but there are multiple advertisements going on there who show the images of the cricketers on your face multiple times a day, and they force you to believe that they are your role model and not the Mary Kom or Milkha Singh and all these things. They force you to believe this thing. Just turn the things on, make the swimming events in your films, and make people believe that you look cool when you are swimming, and girls like you when you are swimming, and people will run after it. That's how they manipulate you.
Well, there is proverb in Hindi, जो दिखता है वही बिकता है. So if you think about the ads, there are numerous sports persons who are also in the ads, and we can see them on TV. But still, we go to the cricketers. Why? Because of the exposure. That's it.
And who is giving them the exposure?
Sorry,
Who is giving them those exposures?
exposure is just only given by the audience because we are showing interest in cricket a lot, and we don't focus on other crickets, other sports. I'm sorry.
So, like Rahul's points is that we are focusing more on the cricket, not other sports, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I have one question with respect to this. See, one point is correct, like which many of you have also focused that maybe cricket is getting a lot of advertisements or promotions. That is why it is leading in the forefront. But it is not only the advertisement which makes a sports popular. Like, is there any advertisement for PUBG? I know I shouldn't, like, PUBG is not into consideration here, but what I'm intending to say is if a sports become, or if a game, or if any product become popular by itself, it will of course capture the market. So advertisements and promotions are one part of the discussion, one part of business, but we as audience, or we even as the team, like what is our role, how can we bring forward the other sports league? Don't we have a role? Is it all in the hands of the advertisers?
Yes, obviously we have some rules. All of us can share the achievements of Indian sports persons of other fields like football, like swimming, like running and marathons, all these things, and we can share about their achievements in our social media pages to make them popular. But I doubt that it will have merely any success, because what you have said, that PUBG was made popular by the gameplay videos on YouTube, and most of them was sponsored also, and it was done mainly by foreigners at the initial days. So I think you can get this thing.
Okay, moving on to the next participant is Rahul Singh.
Oh, yes. Good morning, everybody. This is Rahul Singh. First of all, I'm very sorry for the background sounds. Uh, so,
Your voice is breaking, Rahul.
yes, is it audible now? Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes, you can carry.
Okay. So, today's topic is how other Indian sports league should change their business model to become next IPL. So, first of all, we should know why we are taking IPL. Why IPL is so successful? Is it only sponsors? Is it only sponsors? Is it only players? Is it, as one of the participants mentioned about the uncapped players? So, is it only sponsors, uncapped players, or anything else? No. The biggest reason is the audience and the interest of the audience. From thinking about from 1971, from Gavaskar to 2022, Virat Kohli, uh, one thing always remains constant is the audience interest. So, audience interest, how? Suppose IPL was started in 2008. So, why from the very first year it was boom? Why it was so successful? Only reason was 2007 T20 World Cup. IPL was started on the same model of the T20 World Cup. As we Indians have very less time thinking about, we are very much busy in our lives. So, if we get 20 overs time of 3 hours of entertainment, we would certainly focus there. Hockey is our national sport. So if I name some of the hockey players, none of us here, I think, none of the of know here, even the names like Manpreet Singh or PR Srijay. Why? Just because of the exposure. So and only one thing from which other sports league can be famous is the audience exposure. Talking about PKL, PKL was started in the year 2014. And why was it successful in the very first year? because of the performance of the Indian Kabaddi team in Asian Games in 2006. So it took almost 8 years for PKL to be successful this much. After that, certainly it decreased due to the performance of the Indian Kabaddi team with due respect to the players. It decreased just due to the performance of the players. So, and also we Indians have a very much soft corner for cricket. From decades, from centuries, we Indians always focus on cricket because we think sports means cricket and nothing else. Talking about ISL, and one of the participants mentioned about sponsors. Dream 11 is also the sponsor of IPL, was also the sponsor of IPL, and Dream 11 was also an official partner of ISL. But still, ISL wasn't that much successful. Neeta Ambani is the investor in is the owner of a team in IPL. She is also owner of a team in ISL. Still, ISL wasn't famous. Why? Lack of public interest. We Indians want everything ready in our plate. If we want to make any sports famous, we just want that the players go should perform on high level or very extreme level. He should bring a cup or anything. All of us know the names of Major Dhyanchand. All of us know the name of Pele. Why? Because they have performed at high levels. Now we also know the name of player Sunil Chhetri. Why do we know? Because he has performed. Before him, mere people know about football players' names. So only reason, only my only conclusion is that if a sports league want to become famous in our country, the players need to perform very high. So as per our expectations, we Indians' expectations. Otherwise, I don't think we can match that level of IPL to become an unicorn in sports industry. Thank you. Any
Okay,
questions?
your views are very unique, and like that's true. Like we have to change our mindset as well as the player should play up to the mark for the
Yes,
public. Okay, any more questions?
Well, Rahul, I have a question. How do you plan
sure.
to engage the public in the different sports like badminton, kabaddi, etc.?
Sorry, you are not audible actually.
So how do you plan to engage the public in the different sports like kabaddi, swimming, tennis?
As I already mentioned, the players need to perform at A level. If the players would perform, public will certainly go. I was talking about 2006 Asian Games. Let it remove. Think about the Indian Kabaddi World Cup where Indian team won. All of us know Ajay Thakur. All of us know Anup Kumar. Why? Because they performed in the World Cup level, and Ajay Thakur suddenly gained a lot of popularity due to his performance in the World Cup final. So one of the reasons to bring the public interest in any of the sports, be it swimming, be it badminton, be it kabaddi or anything, is to performance of the players. And we Indians should think a bit wider. We should take a wider picture that we should also support other sports. Cricket, football, kabaddi, or volleyball, anything isn't the end. There are many other sports. So we Indians need to clear our mindset. We should think in a wider picture that we should support other players also. We see there are many examples in news channels that boxers are riding cars or they are doing laborers job. After gaining so much popularity, they are so much great in boxing and all. So there's only simple thing: if players perform and our mindset. That's it.
So like so like your way to like increase the way is like to have people of like swimming, tennis and to engage them in like high sports like in world championship and also the Indian audience and saying them to support these players.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I
We
get
need
it.
to think in a wider picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like to add now some points. Like in our country, I don't blame. I'm not blaming anyone, but in other countries, like from the school days, they are focusing on the sports as well as the uh, like studies. So there is a craze is in the all the sports fields. Like if you look on the America, there is like swimming in Olympics. Like America owns the most the of the sports in gold or silver or like collecting all the prizes. So we have to increase the awareness from the school days, like in like primary schools or like secondary schools. So that's how we have to start awareing the people about the sports, that sports can be a career for a person. So that's we can improve the mentalities of the people.
Well, I will add also something to it because, like, having persons to play in high areas will not. I mean, it is not that important because the world's largest league is NBA, and NBA, and there is nothing such as World Basketball Championship or World Basketball World Cup. There is nothing as such, but still, NBA is the world top profit, most profitable league ever. It is famous only within the US and it is played in nowhere else. But still, there is no World Cup or basketball. But still, NBA is famous. The main reason why it is famous is because in its initial years, the CEO and the board of directors focused hugely on it in investing in the broadcasting companies. And so it got so popularized that NBA is famous all across the US colleges. So in college, there is a separate team of basketball. There is a separate team of basketball in every college which participates in playing against other colleges. So the team, so for making any sport famous, this is not important to have a players playing in Olympics or etc. You need to have and you need to pour in a huge sum of money into advertising the whole sport through TV, YouTube, social media, etc. I think that alone can go a long way.
I would also like to add something. Like Krishna mentioned about investing money. So, Krishna, do you know about 𝐤𝐿o India Games, which is started in Odisha? So, the CM invested a lot of money in 𝐤𝐿o India Games in Kabaddi or in other players, other sports. Still, it isn't famous in our country. Why? Only one reason that I told: exposure. People's mentality. They are not thinking anything except cricket or football or kabaddi. 𝐤𝐿o India Games started and it has a huge exposure as the CM is himself investing a lot of money in it. So investment isn't only thing. People's mentality through a wider picture is a lot important than that. Also with World Cup and high performances.
Okay, your answer is very optimal and up to the point, I think, and I should move on. Our next participant is Shumon Pal. Shumon,
Yes.
yes.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm Suman Pal from second year mechanical department. Time is limited, so I am coming to the point. As we all know, cricket is the second most famous sport in the entire world after football, while Kabaddi is not even in 10 most popular game worldwide. On the on the top of it, the Indian Premier League is the most famous cricket league. Has already left a greatest impression on the cricket for the across the world. Pro Kabaddi League, a professional Kabaddi league of India, is getting viewership in India and in some countries of Asia and getting popular each day. But cricket is unmatchable. Since the success of any league depend upon audience, so it is evident that even through Pro Kabaddi is getting viewership, but it far behind IPL. So to be as successful as IPL, Pro Kabaddi need to wait for ages. It is not gonna happen in further maybe eh, further maybe, but who knows? That's all.
Okay, we are open for the rebuttal round. Anyone having any questions? Okay, I think no one is up for Sumon. Okay, I am again asking some participants that they were missing in the first place. Okay, Sayan Ghosh, Shubhojit Mujumdar, Rohit Chatterjee. Okay, I don't think they are in the meeting right now. Okay, we are having a little more time, so we are opening a rebuttal round for everyone. So, any questions you are having in your mind, feel free to ask.
Yeah, and as well, this is like an open discussion also. There are audiences as well. If you feel like you have valuable points to add on to the topic, you are requested to come forward and speak.
Rahul, I have one question for you.
Yes, sure.
So that's how to bring the people interest in those games.
Exactly. How to bring people's interest. As I already mentioned in my GD, that players should perform. See, if I want to if I want to invest my time in you, I need to think. You should match my level. Suppose,
Yes, yes, yes,
if I'm today I'm taking example of with respect to the players. Suppose I'm taking example of Virat Kohli. Okay,
yes,
he is regarded as the greatest of all time. Okay, why is he
yes,
regarded
yes.
as the greatest of all time? Due to his
Because he
performance in
has
cricket.
uh,
Yes, exactly. Now, if when he is not performing in international cricket or in IPL, we are thinking he is not in good form. Still, he is scoring 40s, even 50s. But what in our mind, we have already kept him in the place of if he is scoring 40, he would certainly score 100. Okay,
yes,
why? Because we have made us think that our
he can
expectations
do
from Virat
anything.
Kohli is that,
Yes,
yes, exactly. Our expectations from Virat Kohli is that whenever he will play, he will score a century or a double century. So,
yes,
if we want to bring audience in the arena or in the stadiums, we need to think also only 2 points. What I would always mention it that we Indians need to think in a wider picture, and the players should need to perform a lot. They are performing great, but only thing is that our brain is stuck in cricket or anything. Any player, we know players. And now I will again mention about Ajay Thakur. There are numerous players in cricket, sorry, in Kabaddi, but still we know about Ajay Thakur. Why? He performed at a greatest level. MSD,
yes,
there are many players. We know about Umran Malik. He's a player, uncapped player from SRH. Why are we talking about him? We are thinking to take him to England series. Why? Because of his performance in IPL. So if the player performs on the higher level, all the public would certainly show their interest in that sport. That's it.
thank you.
Nice one, Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions from audience?
Okay, Rahul, you have made a very logical statement that if the players perform, people will, of course, be more interested and it will pull the audience. But tell me
Yes, they do.
something. Yes, so tell me something that players performing is one criteria and a very valid criteria. But apart from that, don't you think that the interest should come from within? Like, for if I'm concerned about, let's say, badminton. See, badminton is one such sport, like, even in the household, like, people are well acquainted with it. So even when, like, if the people in common play badminton, if they're like aware about it, so why do you think that these leagues are not prospering? Like, people are aware about it, people are in touch with it, it's not an expensive sport. But then again, why people are not aware, like, people are not interested in it? So what is your take on it?
In this case, here comes two things. First of all, as our participants mentioned about investment, and second thing, is the complexities in rules. If you think about cricket, there is we can tell there is a hard and fast rule. There is white ball, no ball, and if it goes in the air, it is a six or it is a boundary. But in badminton, sometimes it is very much complex for other audience, that is who are not aware of the games. It is very much complex for them to think about the rules, that if I am hitting, there is a line. I have very less knowledge in badminton, still I'm telling you, I'm trying that there is one tramline, and if it falls there, there is, I think, penalty or anything. So it is very much complex about the rules of the game that comes in play, and also the investment, about the exposure to the media rights. Media rights, I don't think media rights is something, but still investment in the sports and the rules.
Yes. And also, yes, like as you said, that is one very important thing. Like our awareness is lacking.
Yes.
Like see, cricket was like cricket came from a different nation, but we adopted it because we were made aware about it and we saw the game and we got habituated to it. Then we participated. But if I talk about football, see, football is like one of those Indian origin games, and if you look about those, Mohun Bagan, like those 1911 round of things, like how aggressively people were actually bent upon on defeating the other nations, like let's say the British, and they took football as a medium where they could actually perform, and like where at least they were not dominated. So these sports were from India, but just because cricket got popular and it had advertisement, so of course it is ruling now. But then we are all focusing on this one thing, that broadcasting rights chahiye, promotions chahiye, otherwise the sports is not going to get popular. But what we fail to understand is we also lack the knowledge and the awareness and the will to actually promote a sport. Kho, or let's say like other very common Indian sports. If we want, we can popularize them, but no one has any willingness, or like even the infrastructure bodies are also not willing to promote them. Not only for promotions and money, people have promotion and money, and if a person who has money is willing to actually make something famous, can, but that willingness is not coming, be it from the side of the players or from the audience. And that is the entire niche where we need to look. If India is winning only 6 medals in Olympic and coming back, everyone is very disheartened by looking at the score table of USA and Japan and other countries who win so many medals. But what we fail to realize is that only, we know that there is a national sports complex in Patiala, and like only in films and all, we just get to see it. Like even that is also in a very filmy version what goes inside it. But the actual awareness is lacking in all of us. So that is one primary reason that जो popular already हो चुका है वो रह गया है, बाकी कुछ नहीं हो पा रहा है.
Yeah, that's a true fact. Like
So
lack of awareness
the
everywhere.
biggest reason is us only. Investors are already ready to invest. If we talk about Nita Ambani, she has also invested in ISL, but still it isn't famous.
Actually, yes.
So biggest reason is us.
Okay. Now we are at the end of the session. Now I would like to ask Anushka Di for the vote of thanks.
See, vote. Okay, thank you so much, Shobuj. And firstly, thanks to the participants. I have heard each one of you individually, and I know this is the holiday. You all took time, you all took efforts to come in front of the camera and participate. And also, thank you for investing your thoughts on the topic. Because, and what I would request is, see, this is one session, there'll be a best speaker and you will get the certificate, but don't put an end to this over here, because every brainstorming topic we choose, before that we have a brainstorming inside the core committee, that whether to give or not. When I was choosing this topic, I was not like, I had so many questions in my mind, like how should I frame the question of the topic, like should it sound something else or should it sound in this manner. So every time we select a topic, we like 4 to 5 people, we are either in conference call or in in the WhatsApp, and we are like constantly thinking of proper words to put in the statement. And we do that because so that it does not becomes a very rhetoric topic, or you very repetitive, or just there should be a straight cut answer. We try our best so that there can be multiple perspectives, angles and ideas about the topic, and we don't want it to end right here in one session. So what I would request you is, कुछ ना के लिए ही सही बट सिर्फ अपने लिए ही सही, एंड टू इंक्रीज योर थॉट प्रोसेस, just brainstorm more on the topic, and if you come up with, let's say, a very logical, like a reason, then who can stop you from doing something, achieving something in this field? Maybe you come up with a solution which promotes a very, like, very traditional Indian sport. And the way investors are there, like right now, be it like after the emergence of Shark Tank India, or like we have seen the emergence of angel investors and like the VCs, venture capitalists, money and funding is not a problem if your idea has, power. Idea mein dam hai to wo work kar jayega. Money becomes like a different factor in that aspect. So keep thinking and question your thoughts. Be your own criticizer. Put yourself down, like, of course, to yourself, and think like isse behtar bhi main soch sakta hu. So focus on that, and I believe that will enhance the standard of the entire reason why we do these brainstormings in holidays especially. So thank you to the participants, and thank you to the organizers. Thank you, Shobuj. Thanks to the entire core committee of the Startup Club for actually supporting, and like, this is the 17th brainstorming session which we have done, and we hope to carry it forward even more. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Anushka.
Didi. Thank you very much.
And I would like to ask Anushka for showing the certificates of the
Thank you,
team.
Anushka. Thank you, Anushka, for this wonderful.
You're most welcome. See, the certificates of this will be shared in your WhatsApp group. So you stay tuned in the WhatsApp group. We'll share the certificates there.
হ্যালো ম্যাম।
Yes.
হ্যাঁ, বলছি আমার একটা কোয়েশ্চেন আছে, বাংলা থেকে আমি কোয়েশ্চেনটা করতে পারি?
হ্যাঁ,
একদম।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, তো যেটা বলছি, সবাই তো বললো মানে অনেক কিছু ইনভেস্ট, অনেক কিছু ব্যাপারেই বললো, কিন্তু শহরাঞ্চলে আমি যেটা দেখেছি যে একটা খেলার জন্য প্রয়োজনীয় মানে উপযুক্ত একটা মাঠ থাকে, ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু গ্রামাঞ্চলে আমি বর্তমানে দেখছি আজ থেকে 5টা মাঠে যেখানে আমরা খেলা করতাম সেই মাঠগুলো হারিয়ে যাচ্ছে, অর্থাৎ ওটা দিন দিন মানে এখানে সেরকম ভাবে ডেভেলপ হচ্ছে না। মানে দেখছি যে স্পোর্টস এর কোনো ইনভেস্ট মানে লোকাল যে স্পোর্টস গুলো থাকে সেগুলোতে আগে যে পরিমাণ ইনভেস্ট দেখতে পেতাম এখন সেগুলো আস্তে আস্তে কমে যাচ্ছে। আর সব থেকে মানে যেটা মানে উপযুক্ত, যেটা প্রয়োজনীয় সব থেকে খেলার জন্য উপযুক্ত ওটাই মানে আমরা এখানে ঠিকঠাক হয়তো পাচ্ছি না, তো এটাও তো অনেকটা প্রভাব ফেলতে পারে।
অবশ্যই ফেলতে পারে, এবং সবচেয়ে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ কথা হচ্ছে যে শহরে খেলার মাঠ কোথায়? মানে শহরে হয়তো একটা মাঠ আছে কি দুটো মাঠ আছে, সেটাকেই ওই ভালো করে সুন্দর করে প্রোটেক্ট করে রেখেছে, আর ওখানে তুই দেখবি মানে কাঁথারে কাঁথারে লোক গিয়ে মানে দাঁড়ানোর জায়গা নেই, মানে কাইন্ড অফ এরকম হয়ে গেছে এত লোক হয়ে।
इसमें भी हम लोगों को स्पेस नहीं मिलता, यहाँ पे लोग खेल सकते हैं। इस एरिया very less, and we are unable to means play freely, like in our college also we are unable to play there.
হ্যাঁ, আর মানে দেখ, তোর পার্সপেক্টিভ থেকে তোর পয়েন্টটা ঠিক হতেই পারে যে মানে তুই যে জায়গায় থাকিস হয়তো সেখানে মেবি মাঠগুলো অকুপাই হয়ে যাচ্ছে, বা সেখানে আমার মনে হয় যে যদি সত্যি একটা তো একজন তো খেলে না, একটা নিশ্চয়ই পুরো ক্লাব খেলে বা একটা অর্গানাইজেশন থাকে, তো তাদেরও ইনিশিয়েটিভ নেওয়া উচিত। ওই যে আমি বারবার একই কথা বলছি, একটা যে আমাদের অ্যাওয়ারনেস and our initiative is very important, because if we want we can do a lot of things. কাল যদি আমার বাড়িতে ওয়াইফাই না আসে, আমি ওয়াইফাই প্রোভাইডারের সঙ্গে গিয়ে মানে ঝামেলা করেও হলে আমার বাড়িতে ওয়াইফাই টানবো, বিকজ আমি জানি এটা আমার এসেনশিয়ালিটি, কিন্তু আমি কিন্তু খেলার জন্য এটা নাও করতে পারি। ও হচ্ছে না, so that is the main point where it strikes and how important it is to you, and if it is actually important you will put in efforts to make that work. So firstly you need that thought in your brain, like I need to do this.
একদম, কারণ এখানে মানে এখন দেওয়ার মতো এখন কিরকম নেই,
সেইটা ইনিশিয়েটিভ গুলো কিন্তু নিতে হবে, এবং ইনিশিয়েটিভ গুলো বাইরের কেউ এসে সুযোগ করে দিয়ে যাবে না। আর আমি বলছি সাপোজ বাইরের কেউ এসে যদি মাঠটা ডেভেলপও করে দিয়ে যায়, সেটা কিন্তু সে তার কমার্শিয়াল অ্যাসপেক্টের জন্যই করবে। অফকোর্স একটা লোক টাকা মানে অফকোর্স যে ইনভেস্ট করবে সেটা তার কমার্শিয়াল অ্যাসপেক্টের জন্যই করবে, সে না একটা ক্লাব ডেভেলপ করবে বা কিছুর জন্য করবে। বাট যদি নিজেদের জায়গাটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি প্রোটেক্ট করতে হয়, সো ইউ হ্যাভ টু লাইক পুট ইন সাম এফর্টস অ্যান্ড মেনটেন দ্যাট স্পেস, সেটা খুব দরকার। Okay, Shobhuj, you can carry on.
Okay, like the season is over, but it is like interesting a lot. এটা বেড়েই যাচ্ছে কথা চলেই যাচ্ছে মানে খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং লাগছে আমার আজকে টপিকটা। আর like participants are also very curious and interactive as well. So
You know, if there is a request from your side, we can actually put this topic for one more week. Like, it depends on your request. You can
interest.
request us in.
Sure,
Yes,
sure,
you can.
Sure, sure.
Then we can actually add more on this topic. Yes.
Okay, I think no more questions are there. Thank you everyone, thank you every participants, and thank you all the attendees for the session. Now I would like to end the session. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much. Thank you very much.